The civil rights group StopAntisemitism issued its 2025 report cards on colleges' handling of anti-Semitism, with 14 schools flunking the exam, including 2 New York City universities. A whopping 39% of Jewish college students have actually resorted to hiding their Jewish identities on campus out of fear, while 62% said they have been directly blamed for Israel's military action in Gaza, according to the disturbing new report obtained by the Post. The report, which grades how 90 colleges address the spreading of hatred against Jews on campuses, comes as Jewish Ivy League students like Eden Yadiger have repeatedly sounded off about their school's lack of action against anti-Semitism.
We are ostracized, mocked, harassed, assaulted, and scapegoated because of our identities. The Jews, yelled at visibly Jewish friends of mine on multiple separate occasions.
Stop Antisemitism's founder, Leora Rez, said in a statement, "Anti-Semitism on American college campuses is systemic and tolerated, and in many cases, enabled by the very institutions tasked with protecting our American kids." New York City institutions Columbia University and the New School, which both saw massive anti-Israel protests break out since Hamas's October 7, 2023 terrorist attack, received an F grade in the assessment for allowing this culture of, quote, pervasive anti-Semitism to run rampant. Several other Ivy League schools also received failing grades, including Brown University, Harvard University, the University of Pennsylvania, and Yale. Other prestigious schools that failed include MIT, Northwestern, and UC Berkeley. Altogether, 14 out of the 90 schools received a failing grade from Stop Antisemitism. The schools that received Fs in the report have become ground zero for anti-Semitism in American higher education, Rez said. These institutions pride themselves on being moral and intellectually elite, yet they repeatedly fail to protect Jewish students from harassment, intimidation, hostility, and real violence. Stop Antisemitism's annual report was put together by documenting the volume of anti-Semitic incidents that occurred at American colleges in 2025. Earlier this year, much of the drama surrounding Columbia University came after one of its students, Mahmoud Khalil, was arrested in March, as Secretary of State Marco Rubio sought to deport him over his participation in the anti-Israel demonstrations that engulfed the campus, which the Trump administration claimed posed a threat to U.S. foreign policy interests. The high-profile arrest caused yet another wave of unrest at the Ivy League school, with students and teachers alike putting on demonstrations in protest.
We will not take lectures on anti-Semitism from segregationists and neo-Nazis. It is my honor now to stand before you and call on what remains of the United States government to do the right thing and free Mahmoud Khalil.
Tensions this year culminated in May as massed anti-Israel protesters went on to occupy the university's Butler Library and burned diplomas at graduation while chanting, "Free Palestine." In 2025, Jewish students at Columbia University also saw massed anti-Israel protesters burst into classes like the history of modern Israel, and once again engage in chaotic clashes with police. Even so, 2025 was a far cry from the chaos of 2024. On April 17, 2024, anti-Israel protesters took over the Morningside campus, erecting dozens of tents on the university's famous lawn. On April 18th, with the backing of the school's administration, the NYPD pushed in and made mass arrests, but the protesters, undeterred, once again erected their tents the following day, with the intention of settling in for the long haul. After the school suspended a number of protesters at the end of April 2024, demonstrators broke into Hamilton Hall and barricaded themselves inside. NYPD officers breached the entrance on April 30th. The cops had to cut, burn, and rip through layers of barricades, including mountains of chairs, trash cans, metal tables, and chains, in order to reach them. Two longtime Columbia janitors claim in a lawsuit that they were trapped inside and assaulted by the Hamilton Hall mob, who called them, quote, Jew lovers, and left them injured, traumatized, and unable to work. One of the janitors, Mario Torres, said the assault came after months of being forced to erase so many swastikas on campus that he lost count. As an African-American man, he found the images deeply distressing. He reported them to his supervisors, who instructed him to erase the graffiti, his complaint alleges. The chaos eventually led to the university to hold remote classes, as the protesters continue to dominate the campus, and a rabbi warned Jewish students to stay home for their own safety. As the situation continued to spiral out of control, the administration announced they would cancel in-person commencement. The issue extends beyond Columbia University to other schools as well. In Stop Antisemitism's 2025 report, only 15 schools received an A, including Baylor, Clemson, Elon, and Colorado State University. The group ultimately called on all schools in the U.S. to follow in the footsteps of the A-rated universities in condemning hate against Jewish students and forming a transparent and standard investigation policy against acts of hate. These schools don't wait for national headlines or external pressures to act. They set clear standards, enforce them consistently and fairly, and make it known that anti-Semitism is not tolerated on their campuses, Rez said.